Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my channel today. I wasn't quite ready, but here we are, and we are here just going to do the review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 14, episode 17, and let's begin. And if you're just joining me today, my name is Sanjay, and this is my channel, uh, tell IJ, and please hit the like button, subscribe so when I post any new video, you'll be amongst the first to get to know about it. So where are we? So let's see. So we saw in the last episodes that it started with Candy in the car. By the way, hit the like button, subscribe, share this video with your friends and family, and wherever you're watching from in the world, you are very welcome. So I do a lot of reviews and I do talk about real life issue. And like I said, my name is IJ. And so let's begin. And we saw Candy in the car with her little son. Um, and having a little child. Then we got a little flash of Drew with her mom, and Drew still recovering, and it was lovely to see Drew enjoying her mom being there to help her. Then we saw a little glimpse of Kenya calling around, trying to make sure her designs and things were being organized properly. And so we went from there, and then we later saw, as we went along, we saw a scene where Marlo, or rather before Marlo, let me rephrase, we saw Sanya, being very nice, invited Marlo, and Marlo, Michael, and William, her nephews, who came because, as Marlo, we've had Marlo in different episodes talk about, oh, none of the girls know how difficult it is, and she needs help of friends and like a village to help her raise these children and all that kind of thing. And to be quite fair, the way Marlo seems to expect things from friends like Candy, we've seen it. I personally do not understand Marlo or how she operates, because on one hand we see you talk so badly about Candy, and then you complain, oh, Kenya and all these women who already have children that could be a good support. But somehow Marlo seems to be one of those people in life who always expects what she doesn't give to other people to be giving to her. Anyway, it was nice to see Sanya and her husband invite Marlo and her nephews, and they all went to Sanya's house, and the husband took them out to show the boys how to change a tire and the wheel and all whatnot. And that I thought was cute. And so she sat down there, she was talking with Sanya, and Sanya begins to tell Marlo about her plans of um, uh, decided to make babies with her husband, so she was going to remove her IUD. And Malu sat there calling it DUI, DIU, whatever. I don't know if Malu was joking or she really wants us to believe that she knew nothing about IUD's contraceptive. I don't know. Anyway, they were there, they all ate, and it was a nice scene, good for the boys. I'd just like to see when next episode comes or next season, if Marlo is going to end up throwing Sanya under the bus like she's done to Kenya, she's done to Candy, and she does to most people around her, let's be honest. Anyway, so we went from there, and so we saw like I said, okay, we've seen Kenya preparing and organizing things about her products. And well done, Kenya, for getting that 5,000 spots in CVS in America is a big deal. Let's be honest. And so we now saw in the episode where it shows us Sheree now, in preparation for her 14-year wait to launch her fashion. She goes to see the venue. The venue looks great. And like I said in my earlier episode, if Sheree keeps telling us she's spending about, did she say $1 million on this fashion show? Then I can tell you pigs can fly. Anyway, she goes there and it was, they showed her around and she talks about the pressure of the fashion show and all what have you. And so it was quite nice, the ladies were there and we saw, just basically Sheree looking at the venue. Then they now showed us Marlo picking her mom from the airport, and she flew her mom in. And it was nice in a way to see Marlo being a bit vulnerable, to be honest with you. And Marlo was asking her mom, "What happened to your teeth?" Kind of thing. And apparently, she tells us that she, Marlo, has spent 10,000, oh sorry, $5,000 on teeth for her mom. So, we saw that, and I can tell Marlo is the kind of daughter who likes to look after her mom and all that kind of thing. And then, I'm not quite sure if it was me, if I would have allowed my mom come on camera without her dentures, I don't know. But her mom still looks pretty. It's nice she really cares. You can see the vulnerable part of Marlo. She just wants to be recognized by her mom. And so it carries on, and she and her mom talked a bit about the back and forth, and in the midst of it was quite surprising even to me. I can understand those frustration, how her mom was trying to edge in to ask if she could bring her her friend being a male friend, a boyfriend. Well, I mean, some adults, I don't really know, but that upset Marlo. I can understand that because clearly she's trying to build a relationship. They said they haven't seen each other for 3 years. And now the mom, in less than 3 days, you're already trying to ask if you could bring your boyfriend around. Then it was interesting to me that the only lady Marlo invited to meet her mom was actually Candy. So what happened to Sanya that invited you to her house? I thought you two were body buddies. I really don't understand Marlo because Candy is the one who's helped you in the past. You keep having a dig, but when it seems like moments that matter, you still want to fall back on Candy. I don't get it. I don't get it. But anyway, there you are. So later we saw Nan Kenya, everything completed with her products going into CVS, and they show her we in CVS with this of the managers and the ladies. It was nice to see the ladies come to support Kenya, and even Drew was limping in with her bad foot. So it was really nice and well done to Kenya. 5,000 stores of CVS, that's not a laughing matter. And I hope someone like Sheree, or we hoped. Anyway, if you go back, you see my video of about Sheree, which I made yesterday, and it's so disappointed because at this point we were all hoping that Sheree could learn a thing or two from someone like Candy or Kenya and make her fashion show work and be a sustainable business. Anyway, there you go. So we saw um after that they showed us an episode of Candy with her mom, and she brings up this topic about trust, making a joint trust and individual trust for her children. And it was interesting. Mama Joyce asked her, so who is going to be in charge of the trust? And not surprising to me, she mentioned that one, her um, assistant, her right hand man. And the mother said, "Oh, well, there should be someone else." And Candy said, "Who?" She said, "Should be me." And I'm thinking that just like Candy said, Mom, she joked, Mom, you something along the line, are you trying to bump me off before hand, before my time? Because at the end of the day, her mom is older than Candy. Anyway, they talked about it, and I think it was a nice, good topic to bring up because often, especially in the Black community, whether you're African or Black American, most people do not take the issue of will and making your will or trust seriously. So I think it was a nice subject to touch and encourage people and enlighten people. And from there, that scene we now saw, and now they took us to um Sheree. Yes, now to Sheree getting ready the day before, like a practice thing to do with her fashion show. And who shows up? Tyrone, unexpectedly. And of course, Sheree was surprised to see him and then asked him, you know, quite nicely, how could you turn up here and you never turned up when I was in your town? And instead of Tyrone apologizing to Sheree, as Sheree had asked, to be quite honest, he seemed quite immature for a man of that age. Because if you didn't see how embarrassing that scene was 2 episodes or three ago, where he stood up Sheree, where she went to Philadelphia, flew in, and sat down there waiting for him. And so she kind of, in her confessions, alluded to the fact that Tyrone was only keen on camera time, nothing else. And Tyrone basically made it clear, oh, he wasn't going to apologize. And then, of course, Sherry was like, well, you get out of here. There's nothing, you have no business being here if you're not going to apologize. Anyway, so there you have it. And so we carried on. And let me just remember, and we saw Apollo. Apollo was looking good. He was going to be one of the male models and all that. And to be honest, what's his name? Tyrone just came there acting a fool. He was quite annoying with whatever designer he was wearing that looked more like something made for teenagers. I don't know. Anyway, so we later saw the camera show us again, um, where Marlo's mom was apologizing to Marlo because what she said about trying to get her boyfriend basically come and stay with her, which to me was inappropriate, but each to their own. I don't know these days. And Marlo is trying to give her mom the help she needs with her drug addiction and all that. We see Candy coming. It looked like Marlo's mom was fine. Happy to see Candy. And then Candy in the confessionals, tells us, like she said, Mama Joyce may be opinionated, but seeing the way Marlo is trying to struggle to have a decent relationship with her mom makes her, Candy, appreciate her mom. Of Marlo, I really do pity not just Marlo, any Marlos of this world where children are brought into this world and you are, how can I say it? You basically are part of a mother or father who is either under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or always struggling. It's not fair, it's not right. But I give it to Marlo for being so brave to try to bring this issue on television. And I would hope if there's any parent out there with any kind of addiction, hopefully it kind of touches something in you to think twice before you do or take all these unnecessary wrong decisions and think about the effect it can have on your children. Anyway, so we see by the next day, Sheree's fashion show is progressing. Seemed like a lot of very good invites, lots of people, lots of cast from Married to Medicine. We saw Lisa Cole, we saw Paul, we saw Dr. Jackie, we saw quite a lot of them. Peter came, quite a lot of them. They had well done that. And then the ladies in the current episode of Real from Atlanta were all there. And then as they were talking, Marlo walks in wearing a nice jumpsuit, animal print. I'll give it to Marlo. She knows how to dress herself, most times anyway. And who walks in? Even after Sheree said, don't bother coming back. Here we see Tyrone, who seems to be thirsty for the cameras, sliding in. And I like what Kenya was like in her confessional. Sheree, please release this man. He looks a bit shady. Kenya alluded and all whatnot. And it was quite interesting to me that none of the ladies seemed to know Tyrone, except Marlowe, who mentioned and said that Tyrone had been in in the area or in town for 2 days, and maybe Sheree didn't even know. And so we see Tyrone greet the ladies, and they asked, "Oh, I think it was Candy who asked, does Sheree know you're here?" And he was like, "No, I just surprised her yesterday." And so he goes in, and they're all talking about him, and then he goes in to give Sheree the flowers, to which Sheree was like, remember they just had an argument the night before or the day before, because Tyrone would not apologize to um to Sheree, and Sheree was quite rightly angry. And as Sheree said in her confessional, the flowers looked like he just picked them up from the convenience store. And they put a tag of $99, trust the production. That was classic, you know. And he's all there sliding around her, trying to get her attention. And Sherry, at least this time, she just wasn't having any of it, you know. So, so then we see Sherry's mother first coming, and Sheree introduced Tyrone as, you know him? And the mom said, no. And she said, that's Tyrone, the prison bay. Ah. Hey, I don't know. I mean, was Sheree, was she throwing shade? Or was that just her own best way of describing Tyrone? You tell me. Then what was also interesting was that Sheree's 20-year-old daughter walked up to him earlier on, said politely, "Who are you?" And you're wondering, I thought you and Tyrone have been together even though he was in jail. So nobody amongst these cast members except Marlo, or even any of Sheree's family, knew about Tyrone. Isn't that interesting? That's quite interesting to me. I couldn't understand that. Anyway, and so Sheree got on doing her own thing. At the time, Tyrone was like, "Oh, can I talk to you?" And she just said blunt, "No." And quite honestly, I would do the same. And so the fashion show, people waited and waited 30 minutes. Oh, by the way, the Dwayne, that Nini's friend, that 14 years ago, um, Sherry remembers, according to her, he gave her tough time. No, he didn't give you tough time. The truth, how can you have fashion show without fashion? And so Sherry and him greeted, good humor, great, light-hearted, and then as Sherry said jokingly, I'm going to correct this time. And I thought to myself, "Oh, I hope you damn well do, Sherry." And so they were all sitting there. I could see Dwight, when he looked at the screen. I don't blame him. I think the screen showed us they've been waiting for over an hour and a half. I personally don't understand this, where people, and this, especially we, the black folks, I don't understand it, where you have an invite and you spend money, and this is supposed to be it a wedding, a fashion show, a christening, or why can't people learn to keep to time and start things appropriately? It's embarrassing. In this case, I believe Cherie's fashion show was meant to run from 7:30 in the evening, and it didn't start till 2 hours later. Can you imagine if you're one of those people and you're just sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting? That is annoying, frustrating, and the real waste of everybody's time. Anyway, the fashion show, thank God, 14 years later, it did go on. And was it a bang or what? It was really good. I'm not going to lie. Everybody was rooting on for Sherry. It was going. Then all the models looked sleek. They looked good. And we saw Apollo. Everybody screamed. Then they showed us a flash of Apollo's girlfriend on screen. And oh, by the way, let me go back. When the ladies first came into the venue, and of all the ladies, when Kenya walked in, I'm personally will say that what Kenya wore was classy and the best of all of them, and very chic. And so Kenya stood up there. It was really lovely, and the whole show went out with a bang. Let's be honest. So all in all, the show went really well. People were rooting for Sheree. Towards the end, she even made a video, saying to everybody, "Get your wallets out, and my store is here, my merchandise is here, and is the website is going to be open, and get ready to use your credit cards." Only for the next day after that show, as I said, I made a video yesterday. You go check my playlist, and you see Sheree missed the mark, and for hours people could not get anything to buy. Well, we saw some people were suddenly later showing a website. I don't know if that's like a mesh shop or the real thing. I really don't know. But what we knew as of earlier yesterday, was that nobody could get their hands on Sheree's product. Then the things on the website were not even the things that were modeled on the runway. So how does that make sense? Then on top of it was the designer making complaints that Sheree did not pay him. So that again in itself is embarrassing. And Sheree seems to have this kind of allegedly um, reputation of people rumoring she doesn't pay people when they work for her. We saw it in the current series or season where Drew even said that to her, and even up until yesterday's episode, she was still owing Drew for half of the party that Sheree, suggested that they threw for Marlo and Kenya. They didn't turn up and refuses to pay her own half. I mean, if that doesn't scream scam, I don't know what does. I really don't understand how someone cannot be embarrassed. So we all said it. And on that note, we are now hoping that the next episode we will see will be all about the reunion. And I know many of you watching this are looking forward to reunion. I am. And the channel. And please hit the bell, notification bell, so when I post or come live, you will be amongst the first to know. And on this note, I will say I will probably give this episode a 7/10. All in all, we were all happy to see Sheree launch her fashion after 14 years. But unfortunately, there was rumors about problem with the website, so-called crashing, and a designer complaining he wasn't paid, and what was on the website were not even things that were even brought on the runway. So on that note, I want to thank you again for stopping by. That was my review of The Real Housewife of Atlanta, Season 14, Episode 17 review. And please hit the like button again, support my channel, and look at the description. There are lots of free, very useful links to resources that could help you out there. If you're looking for a job or you're running a business, look down below this video, and you might find something that will really add value to your business or to your life. And thank you again. And please subscribe, so when I start making my giveaways, you will be among some of the people to receive them. Thank you, and have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. My name is IJ, and this is Tell IJ. See you on the next broadcast. Thank you.